This is Jilliana Ranicar-Breese, and I'm at the Brighton Centre with Charles Devus, Devious Charlie, who is showing me a newspaper from Hong Kong, and his name is in it, and there's an interview. Charlie, how on earth did you get into the Hong Kong newspaper?
I was sent an email by a Hong Kong journalist called Susie Wong from Hong
Susie
Kong.
Wong?
Sorry, Fiona Wong.
Oh,
Fiona Wong, sorry, from Hong Kong.
I was thinking of the world of Susie
Yes,
Wong.
I was, that's it.
Yes.
But, you see, this is a truly dreadful housing.
Yes, it's all containers,
Yes,
isn't it?
It's absolutely awful. It was put up about 4 years ago by Brighton Housing Trust without any insulation.
And you have lived there, haven't you?
Yes. There's no insulation, it's full of drug dealers, There's violence, there's been a suicide. It's...
the underbelly of Brighton.
Completely. It was basically the ego child of a man called Andy Winter, who is the director of Brighton Housing Trust.
How many people live there?
There are 36 units, but there are more people living there.
Ew. And there's no heating?
There's heating, but there's no insulation. Proper insulation.
Oh, right, so all the heating goes out the window, so to speak.
It was launched in a press orgasm.
Sorry, it was launched?
It was launched in almost orgasm of press. The reporters were crawling there like blue bottles. When we started to complain, this stopped. And then I was contacted by a journalist called James Rippingdale. He did an expose in a web paper called Vice, which I was one of the main voices. Since then, like I said, we've had a suicide. We've had a unanimous petition complaining about conditions.
But you don't live there now, do you? You don't live
yes,
there
I do.
full time.
Well,
you're not there full time.
I spend as little time as I can there, but it's my home. It's my official
it's your
home.
base.
Yeah, but it's my official home.
Yes. And it's for the homeless.
It's for the homeless, but there's been it's been expunged, airbrushed out of Brighton Housing Trust's website. It is the project which dare not speak its name. But the interesting thing is now there's an interest in it. There are 2 journalists currently doing work on it. This has gone out, independently has gone out in Hong Kong,
wow.
But there's now, the Brighton University are doing a project on it.
It's called Richardsons Yard.
Richardsons Yard, yes.
Yes.
But I think it's going to be a potentially explosive story, and it's a story which needs to be told because it's a story which is attempted to be suppressed.
Gosh. So how many years have you been homeless, Charlie?
I've been there for 4 years.
4 years. Gosh.
Now, what makes me angry is this should have been a wonderful project, but it was put up on the cheap. It was put up
by Brighton
Housing Trust.
Yes.
It was portrayed at the beginning. The original instigators of it had very high hopes, but it was pared to the bone. It was put up purely to make money, to make maximum money. Actually,
But you don't pay rent, do you?
Oh yes.
Oh, you do.
This is, basically.
Oh, how much rent do you pay?
About £600.
What, a month?
Yes.
You're joking.
Yes. Because they know they can get maximum benefit for it. This is one of the reasons why...
600? But,
yes.
but you could get a room somewhere else for 600.
I know, it's an absolute scandal. And
well, why don't you move, Charlie?
have you ever tried on benefit?
No.
Have you ever tried to rent property in Brighton? I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because the property management companies have basically cornered the market. If you want to rent something, you need a guarantor.
Yes, that's true. Yes,
will guarantee.
yes.
So you have to think up about £5,000 up front. Now, if you've never rented, you won't necessarily know that. A lot of people don't.
Well, the average room is about £100 in Brighton.
It's probably
£90, £100
yes.
in 2016 anyway.
Yes. So it's Well,
So that's 400 a month.
Yes.
I don't know if that includes heating and bills.
No, it won't.
No, okay.
It won't.
Okay.
And you remember now you've got council tax on top of that.
And what about you, Richardsons Yard? Is the council
Yes,
tax
there's council tax
on top of that?
Yes.
Gosh.
And also the service charge. And there is what
Service? What
there's a
service do you
charge.
get? Oh, you mean the sewers and all that sort
No,
of thing?
somebody comes around with a broom every so often. Although we do have a garden.
A witch?
Yes. But one of the tenants totted up his first annual bill for heating, and it came to £1,000
A month?
a year.
Oh, £1,000 a month.
£1,000 a year. But if you're if that's,
What's the heating? Is it central heating, gas, or
well, it was originally these ceramic plates which offered no heating.
ceramic plates?
Yes. Now there's good heating. The only trouble, it goes straight through the walls.
Because there's no insulation.
metal.
And why can't they put?
They won't.
Can you? They
simply
refuse?
won't.
Why? Why?
Because they simply won't. Because because they can get. Because basically it's an organisation run by spin. You see, we have no voice. Andy Winters will simply deny. They will deny. When we had the petition, Andy Winters, their chief executive, came down with specifically to try to get us to retract. And this, you're talking about 35 out of 36 households signing a petition.
I thought this was going to be a little vox pop. I didn't think it was going to be a whole interview, Charlie.
Oh yes, this is.
Yeah.
This is a very big thing.
We're not going to have time today. We're going to have to come back to it.
We can do, but it's
Yes.
worth putting on because this is a story.
I will. I'm going to put it up on YouTube.
This
Yes.
is a story.
Yes, because seeing you in a Hong Kong newspaper, and we're about to do a radio show for poetry, so a far cry from the housing. You'll have to do a poem on housing.
Oh, we will. I'd just like to say that this is in memoriam to Joe Jensen, who's the martyr, the man who committed suicide and did his best to. He did his best to enthuse. He had no support, and eventually he killed himself.
What, out of depression, you mean?
Out of depression, out of drugs. He was exploited by somebody there, and he wasn't given any support.
Okay.
And his family weren't able to choose either.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Charlie.
Certainly.
And I look forward to part 2 of this, so we'll talk about it another time.
It's a story that needs to be told.
Yes, I agree. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.